Lefarydd, and it's an honour to be the first to speak for Wales in this debate this evening. And I welcome the Secretary of State back to his seat, from which he has been absent for much of this debate. It's impossible to overstate the seismic implications Brexit has for Wales. At the heart of this debate is how the British state will function post-Brexit and what the British state considers to be normal. We can no longer assume that the rightful trajectory of power, namely closer to the people, will continue in the way it has done since 1997. What we are facing is a shock tactic, a vortex of centralisation, a self-affirmation of self-interest in sovereignty of and by and for Westminster. And what will this mean in practice? We've been talking about 24 powers, haven't we? Well, actually, there's been some mission creep on that in Wales. 2 more, 26. State aid and food geographical indications.
Really?
And this means something in practice in Wales. It will mean the denial of state aid for threatened industries like steel by a government which believes in an unfettered free market. It will mean an agricultural policy no longer designed to protect farming and the rural economy, and all that means for Wales in terms of the environment and our language and our culture. It will mean slash-and-burn procurement policies hardwired to ignore social and community benefits of public expenditure. And it will mean enabling, once again, the selling off of Wales's fish stocks to the highest bidder, something our government should have been able to prevent and now will not be able to do so. Developing common frameworks for the UK as a whole should require mature cooperation between the national governments of the UK and shouldn't be a case of one country asset stripping powers away from the others in order to impose a one-size-fits-all England-first framework across all of the UK's countries. Yet at the very same time, Westminster will only be bound by promises, political promises, while the devolved governments face legal constraints. Westminster acting again as judge and jury. Now, the disregard for Welsh democracy is endemic. Despite Labour's half-baked attempt at improving the power grab clause, the people of Wales would be forgiven for thinking the opposition and the Tory government were colluding to deny Wales its voice. To rub salt into an already aggravated wound, the Labour Party needlessly pressed ahead with 11 consecutive votes, some of which were duplicates, which they knew full well would lose, all of the while eating into time for the next debate, the devolution debate. Not only did the Labour Party facilitate the farce of a debate that took place last Tuesday, they abstained. Yes, with the exception of one honourable gentleman, which I would note is also the presence of the Labour Party of Labour MPs from Wales here this evening. Labour abstained on amendments that took powers away from our National Assembly for Wales. It speaks volumes for the lack of respect on the part of the British government that they are ploughing ahead with this bill before the Supreme Court reaches a verdict on the Scottish Continuity Bill. And as we know, as part of the deal between the Unionist parties, the Labour Welsh Government agreed to withdraw the Welsh Continuity Bill and its referral to court. In what can only be described as a convoluted turn of events, I understand that the Labour Welsh Government has requested to re-participate in the Scottish Continuity Bill's Supreme Court case, but this time in defence of the UK Government's position as obedient good unionists. Lefarydd, when my party argued in favour of Remain in 2016, we did so because we believed, and we believe, that small nations like Wales are better served sitting alongside the other successful small nations of Europe as equals. We argued that the inbuilt inequality of the UK would make Wales expendable political collateral to the overriding interests of England. And we were right. While Tory and Labour Unionists, 40 MPs, remember, out of the 650, look at the maths for how the inequality is written.